You know, over the last 5 years at least, I've had a love-hate relationship with all these preachers already watching online because it's quite amazing. And the internet is filled with them now. But what I see is that word needs to go to all nations. And even though there's lots of deception, there's lots of truth because all these verses that I've been crowing about for the last freaking 5-7 years already are all coming to all these content meteors, all these things, and they're pushing the word of God. I also realize, and it's like I stopped years ago trying to, we believe, right? Forgive and you will be forgiven. Judge and you will be judged, right? Or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I mean, those easy ones we believe, right? We don't want to believe the Gentiles will lose their riches or right, fire to come down from heaven and all these things because too much anxiety, right? For many, right? And that's why the pre-trib rapture is such a strong cling to because we don't want to be refined in the fire or disciplined by the Father, right? But then all of a sudden I realized that all this media online about God is great. The problem is that they will all come to worship the image of the beast because you can't the programming that's going on to deceive the worlds through the scriptures, right? To lead them into the worship issue of the beast is just amazing. But I look at things much different. I stop leaning on my own understanding and I go and say, why is this, Lord? Why? And I mean, he shows if you ask, seek, knock in his word, right? Because if the scoffers and the mockers need to come, wouldn't this be fulfilling of their September 23rd, right? I believe we're right at the door to either start the 7 years, or I think we've almost started already because through the seventh seal, the seven seals, right? The second seal of the great sword of AI, right? And that sword and the third seal of a penny of wheat for a day and 3 measures of barley for a penny through a universal basic income. That is kind of halfway through the seals already because I'm almost, I'd say 98% convinced that Trump is the first horseman of one who sat upon it was given a bow and a crown was given unto him and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And you can see on the global stage where he's going forth conquering and to conquer, kind of a makeshift crown of King Trump or King's protest or like, how do we interpret the Bible? I stopped wondering if this verse, you go to a Christian, you believe this verse, you believe this verse, 50-50. What do you mean 50-50? 50-50. It's like, really, people, okay, I understand. The growth is coming, and I see that growth. That people are actually ask and seek and knocking now, right? But now it needs to be refined all the way, right? And that's where I see it. It's all fulfilling. Because I think after the scoffers and mockers come of September 23rd, is a very good opportunity with all the wars and rumors of wars and to say peace and safety and sudden destruction will come upon them, right? That lines up to me because in order to create order out of chaos and bring in all these prophecies, that beast needs to deceive them by calling fire down from heaven, right? Very easily done today with all the technology because Christ is coming back in fire and scorching heat. The beast is deceiving them by fires, right? So in my crazy theology of the Bible, he's just telling us the whole way. First, I baptize you in a flood, and in the end, I baptize you in a fire, right? So in 1/3 of this smitten, and if you go into the end of the seals of Revelation 6, where the heavens roll away like a scroll is rolled together quickly in a great and mighty wind to shake its untimely figs, that's just going to be a pole shift, and it'll reverse all the polarities and all the volcanoes and all that, and it will be great tribulation. But this comes on a sinful nation, right? This is prophesied already from the beginning, right? So, and you can see it, that there's going to be a form of godliness, right, in the end, but they are not godly. No, this isn't about, for me, if the Bible is true, right? Because we all believe, right? to love thy neighbor as thyself. I mean, that can be argued. You know what I said to one of my church buddies the other day? We were talking, and I said to him, I said to him, it is much easier to keep that first tablet of God. No other gods, no graven images. Don't use God's name in vain. And remember, much easier than the second tablet. It's much easier, that burden and that yoke, right? Love God with all thy heart and love thy neighbor as thyself. And I said, that's the love-hate relationship, because I see something clearly, that the churches have been 100% led astray in adultery. And they will solidify that with their carbon emissions day of rest to Mother Earth. I can see that totally rolling out when they deceive the world by fire coming down from heaven, right? Because in Revelation 13:13, right, that beast that deceived them by calling fire down from heaven and was able to deceive them by the means of the miracles, right there is where the image is worshipped of a carbon emissions day of rest to help save the planet, and the mark of digital identity in your hand and your forehead of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 16.9, right? It's amazing how all the laws and policies, like, I stopped wondering already that, and if everything is, like, I mean, it's not 50-50, it's 100%. I tried, about 6-7 years ago, I tried to prove the Bible wrong now. Now I wanted to see that it was wrong. Like, okay, everybody's telling me I'm wrong, because I thought we had been deceived, right? I thought. And then it made me go back into the scriptures and just, okay, now I look like an idiot. And just the more that it got like this, the more it was, no, you've been deceived.